What if the legendary Robin Gibb's final act wasn't a song, but a legal bombshell that left his family in ruins? For years, the public believed his $30 million estate was settled, but his children have just broken their silence on a secret will that changes everything we thought we knew about the Bee Gees star. The tragedy of Robin's final days in May 2012 was marked by a brutal battle with cancer. But behind the hospital walls, a far more ruthless battle was being waged over his immense fortune. As the iconic singer's life slipped away, a 15-page document was signed in the shadows, witnessed only by his chauffeur and personal assistant. This secret testament did not bring peace. Instead, it lit the fuse on an explosive family war, pitting his grieving children against his formidable widow and casting a young love child into a legal vacuum. What the public saw as a tragic farewell was actually the opening salvo in a multi-million-dollar struggle of betrayal, hidden assets, and a family pushed to the absolute brink of ruin. To understand the sheer magnitude of this betrayal, we have to look at the pressure cooker of Robin Gibb's final years. He was the distinct, haunting vibrato behind the Bee Gees' most legendary hits, amassing a fortune estimated by some to be as high as £140 million, with his UK-based estate valued at £26 million alone. But while his career was defined by harmony, his domestic life was a maze of unconventional arrangements and escalating tensions. For over 25 years, Robin was married to Dwina Murphy Gibb, a self-styled druid priestess. The couple openly acknowledged they had an open marriage, a pact that allowed them a unique freedom. But that freedom collapsed when the boundaries of their home were shattered. The singer began a long-term, intimate affair with Claire Yang, their live-in housekeeper who was nearly half his age. What began as a quiet household secret became an unavoidable public scandal in November 2008, when Claire gave birth to Robin's fourth child, a daughter named Snow Robin. Dwina was furious. The open marriage agreement had been stretched past its breaking point, and Claire was promptly forced out of the family's historic 12th century mansion. But Robin refused to abandon his new daughter. He bought Claire an £850,000 home just 25 miles away, setting up a parallel family. As Robin's health deteriorated due to colon and liver cancer, the tension between his two lives reached a fever pitch. While undergoing aggressive chemotherapy and surgery, Robin was caught in a grueling year-long legal battle behind closed doors. Just months before his death, in January 2012, he agreed to pay a lump sum of £4 million to Claire Yang to cover Snow Robin's upkeep. But this massive payout was only a temporary truce. Dwina and her legal team watched from the sidelines, deeply concerned that this housekeeper would return to claim a massive share of the singer's ultimate estate once he was gone. Then came the ultimate twist that no one saw coming, a move that shattered the fragile peace and redefined the entire estate battle. In August 2011, 9 months before his death, Robin finalized his 15-page last will and testament. When the document was finally read aloud to the family after his passing, a collective shockwave went through the room. Snow Robin, the child he had described as heaven sent, was completely excluded. Her name was entirely missing from the direct beneficiaries of his multi-million-pound fortune. Instead, the final paragraph of the will contained a cryptic, haunting instruction. Robin wrote that he was in the process of making reasonable financial provision for Snow and explicitly directed his trustees to provide for her if he failed to do so. The twist? The lead trustee controlling the money was none other than his widow, Dwina, the very woman who had banned the love child and her mother from his funeral. This bizarre legal trap placed Dwina in complete control of the financial destiny of the child who represented her husband's infidelity. The consequences of this choice quickly tore the Gibb family apart, revealing deep-seated divisions that had been masked for years. Robin's fortune, valued officially at £26 million after tax, was locked away in a complex trust fund. Under the terms of the will, Dwina was granted all of Robin's personal chattels and, crucially, the rights to his share of the immensely lucrative Bee Gees back catalog. This meant that every time Stayin' Alive or How Deep Is Your Love played anywhere in the world, the royalties flowed directly to Dwina. For Robin's older children from his first marriage, Spencer and Melissa, the reality of the will was a bitter pill to swallow. They received an immediate cash payment of £500,000 each, a fraction of their father's true net worth. The rest of their inheritance was locked up, scheduled to be split between them and their half-brother, Robin John, only after Dwina's eventual death. This arrangement created a suffocating dynamic. The adult children were left waiting for their stepmother to pass away to access their father's legacy, while Dwina held the purse strings of the entire empire. But the real storm was brewing over the silent exclusion of Snow Robin. Under British law, specifically the Inheritance Act of 1975, any biological child left out of a parent's will has the right to mount a legal challenge, claiming they have not been left with reasonable financial provision. Claire Yang and her legal advisors knew this. The pre-death payout of £4 million was substantial, but compared to an estate estimated by some family sources to be worth well over £90 million when including global properties and hidden assets, it was a drop in the ocean. Dwina's inner circle leaked to the press that she was terrified of a prolonged, messy court battle that would drag Robin's name through the mud and deplete the family coffers. Family friends revealed that relations between both sides had become highly strained and deeply distressing. The older children, Spencer and Melissa, found themselves caught in the middle of this Cold War. They had to watch as their father's final days were overshadowed not by a peaceful farewell, but by aggressive legal wrangling that took place even as he lay in his hospital bed undergoing chemotherapy. The public silence of the children finally cracked as the details of this legal nightmare leaked. They spoke of the deep pain of seeing their father's legacy reduced to a series of financial negotiations. They felt the heavy burden of a secret will that seemed designed to keep the peace during Robin's final days, but instead guaranteed a lifetime of resentment. The tragedy was compounded by the complete isolation of young Snow Robin. Banned from the funeral by Dwina, the young girl was effectively erased from the public memory of the Bee Gees star, kept at a distance of 25 miles, while the rest of the family put on a united front for the media. As the legal team scrutinized the 15-page document, it became clear that Robin's cryptic final paragraph was a desperate attempt to please everyone while taking no real responsibility. By stating he was in the process of making provision, he hoped to satisfy Claire Yang. By leaving the ultimate decision to the trustees, he hoped to placate Dwina, but in reality, he left a ticking financial time bomb. The trustees were forced to balance the intense hostility between a grieving widow and a former mistress, all while the children watched their father's hard-earned legacy being chipped away by lawyers. The tension peaked when details emerged of a sudden public confrontation. Reports surfaced of heated arguments regarding the future of the Bee Gees' royalties, with the children questioning whether their father's true intentions had been bypassed in his final vulnerable months. They wondered if the extreme physical toll of his cancer treatments had left him susceptible to influence when signing the document in August 2011. Every royalty check, every property transfer, and every legal letter became a reminder of the secrets Robin kept and the price his family had to pay to keep those secrets buried. In the end, Robin Gibb's final act did not bring harmony, but a silent discord that continues to echo through his family. The $30 million estate remains a monument to a double life, leaving his children to navigate a fractured legacy where wealth is bound by resentment and silence is bought with legal settlements. As the royalties from the Bee Gees' timeless anthems continue to roll in, they serve as a constant reminder of the legal bombshell that tore this family apart. Was Robin Gibb's secret will a final, desperate act to protect those he loved? Or was it a calculated betrayal designed to bury his deepest secret forever? The truth remains locked in the final, unwritten verses of his life, leaving us to wonder how deep the division truly runs.